federal government says it has taken delivery of 255 tractors out of the 2,000 it signed with a private firm about a year ago to be distributed to farmers. Agriculture and Food Security Minister Senator Abubakar Kyari, who made this known in Abuja on Tuesday, restated government's intention to break down food inflation, which is currently at about 34%. Also disclosed that the federal government has commenced plans for the reorganization and recapitalization of the Bank of Agriculture, which was expected to be completed before the end of the first quarter of 2025. Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss how government can leverage on this tractor scheme to boost foods production and enhance food security in Nigeria. Mr. Sobowale, always a pleasure.
Good afternoon.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Right. Mr. Sobowale, is Nigeria ripe enough for a declaration of a state of emergency on food production, for the past decade or so, which is also fueled by insurgency over time? We're still coming to the issue of all these tractors, but generally it's still within that line.
The tractors are what you have to discuss. What you have mentioned are the context in which the tractors will be used. So let's face what we have to discuss.
All right.
The tractors are coming in, not that they have come in. You get me? They'll be quite honest about it. And they are just received 200 out of 2,000. Trailers too are coming in, 2,000. And you see, the minister has not put anything under the table. The complements to go with them. The harvesters, seeders, the plows, they have to come in. And if you know Nigeria, see, delivery can be hazardous. So he has laid open the problems they face. And he has countenanced what you just mentioned about the issue of insecurity. That, you see, in the budget they put out before the legislature, they took cognizance of the fact that some farms have been reclaimed. So they cannot be held down by insecurity. And the securing of farmlands, their recovery by the armed forces is ongoing business. And you see, government is a continuum. That is why I appreciate what they are doing, although it's a very tough task. Because you are talking of delivery, which have not come. And the international trade routes and the threat of tariffs by Trump is going to escalate so many prices of so many things and delivery time. So I wish them luck, but you can see they have the plans. The problem now is plan implementation, seamlessly, so that people don't die before the tractors come. You get me? And the aim is right, to reduce food inflation, increase agricultural output, and ultimately to have food security, so we don't use our hard-earned money to go and buy food. So let's leave it at that for now.
Right. Awesome, Mr. Sobowale. Appreciate all you mentioned about the context in which these tractors being used being very important and the implementation. So how does the government ensure that these tractors reach the genuine farmers as opposed to being diverted to political loyalists when they land, when they eventually land?
That is the problem this minister has narrated. 200 out of 2,000. You see, I'm sure they must have their plans because they got a budget. They must have what they want to use the budget for. So don't let us jump the gun.
I do understand, Mr. Sobowale, but like you rightly said, the implementation is important, meaning that there needs to be a plan. And since there is a plan, since there's potential for this to be diverted out of away from the people for which it's intended, how do they ensure that that's not the case? Because it's happened in the past.
But they are hearing you now. They are hearing. You see, you cannot judge people and think everybody is a cook. They are salutary, honest, public-spirited Nigerians, and I will assume this minister is one of them. He has laid bare the problems they have. He cannot be there. Some people want to steal things from under his nose or not work according to schedule. He'll fire them, literally. You see, it's not that I appreciate the problem or what have you. I see it. This is a planning and execution problem. See, this is a minister trying to get, so you don't get these imports, agric imports in one day. And people are in a hurry, like she, that this thing should be done in less than 24 hours. But this is, you have to order for them, take delivery of them, make sure they get there, make sure they work according to how you want them, do customer service, you get me? And make sure there are people to repair them as at when due. And this is a long haul. It is a long haul. But that is what governance is all about. Hopefully, there will be no itches, and they will deliver as scheduled. And I wish them luck. That's all.
All right, Mr. Sobowale, it's one thing to have all these tractors delivered, but do you think currently enough has been done to secure the areas of which mechanized farming is going to be implemented? Yes, we talk about the security, apparatus doing as much as they do, but it's one thing to maybe get hold of these individuals. Have you sustained and consolidated your hold on those farmlands for the mechanized, agricultural practices to take place in the first place?
Yeah,
especially when it comes to big farms. It's not just those little farms that we're talking about. Those who will be involved in cash crops and all this huge...
You see, that's an hypothetical question. You see, there are big farmlands, mechanized in the north, but they all fled because of this.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But that is, you see, that is the problem of government, and that depends on the terror of the insurgency. And really, the first thing is to secure the farmlands and sustain that security. But that's up in the air. See, I wish the government luck to secure the farmlands and sustain the security. Then agriculture can thrive. Because if they can't do that, they're in trouble. And you see, don't forget that, see, our farmlands, our food baskets, states, as are our the northwestern states, north central states, see, they are being attacked by armed men looking for territories to govern from the Sahel, from the Sahara. So, and the whole of ECOWAS realizes that. That was part of what led to the coups in some states. So it's a continuous thing. I even read somewhere that there are some of these terrorists and jihadists who want to make the Sahel, the whole of West Africa, you get me? An Islamic territory. So that's the reality of geopolitics. You have to, because you don't exist in a vacuum.
Absolutely.
You can think we can always overcome them, and by God's grace we should. But if the alternative happens, everybody for himself.
True.
God for us all.
Well said, Mr. Sobowale. But on a final note, even though I know you're going to come for me, I'm ready.
You are the one coming for me.
When it comes to maintenance culture, you know how our country is. How do we ensure that in about 30 seconds that there's good maintenance culture for this and technical support in order to support this this development?
That minister mentioned everything there. That is, how do I put it, product maintenance, product utility. In marketing, you call it after-sales service.
Yeah.
I'm sure if they don't put it in place, the whole thing will come to naught. And I'm sure the suppliers too, for them to be able to have more procurement from government, I think I'm being optimistic. I think they will want to do their best so that the government can buy more from them. But everything is in the air, you get me? We all pray that things work out, but the plans are there.
All right, Mr.
Thank you.
Dayo Sobowale, Rise News analyst, I'd like to thank you very much for your thoughts on those issues. Good to have you with us as always.